Guys, welcome to your grade 11 English first additional language class, and today we're doing cartoon analysis. And as you know, I'm your presenter, Ayanda Shabalala. You can always contact me on thebookcitizen@gmail.com. So what I usually do is I like to greet everyone who's in the class before I move on to the content. So I'd like to say hi, Dimpo. Hi, Dimpo. Hi, Mavuyega. Hi, Mbali. Hi, Priyanka. Hi, Sbahle. Hi, Danae. I hope I'm saying it properly. And I'll keep greeting people as we go along. So today, as you guys know, we're just doing a recap on yesterday's lesson. Our last lesson on cartoon analysis for now. So what we're going to be doing, the objectives of this lesson are for you guys to be able to explain cartoons and understand them for what they are, because as I said yesterday, there's always an underlying meaning in cartoons. So there's always a message that is being said. Yeah, so you need to be able to interpret that. And then the other thing would be, okay, let me get the chat box here so I can speak to you guys. Okay, sorry about that. All right, good to go. And then the second point was to determine central ideas or information from primary and secondary sources. So a lot is being said in cartoons, but you need to be able to interpret and determine what the central idea or the information that the cartoonist is trying to convey to you, right? And then evaluate various explanations of events and compare that with textual evidence. So that would mean basically your critical thought, because, you know, cartoons always have a main idea, and that is always an opinion from the cartoonist perspective. So yours is to be able to evaluate whether they're justified in making those kind of conclusions. I don't know if that's making sense to you guys. And then the other thing would be meaning of words and how they are used by the author to create different reaction. So you guys, I think I've been saying this a lot in my past lessons, that different words are used to generate different feelings, different reactions, and they mean different things to different people. So this is why words have synonyms, right? Think about it like that. And then house rules, as you guys know, the first one is respect. Sorry guys, I was just having some water. The first one is respect, and the second, by that I mean that we engage each other respectfully. We're not rude to one another. I'm the only person who calls out wrong answers, okay? If you see that something is wrong, wait for me to correct it, all right? And yeah. The other thing is engagement. I want you guys to use the Zoom group chat. If you've been in my classes for quite some time, you'll know that I use the group chat a lot to facilitate my lessons. This also helps you guys to be able to, develop understanding by judging how your other peers think of things, right? Because remember, in English, it's always interpretation. There's seldom a right or wrong answer unless we're doing grammar and punctuation, right? But in terms of language and editing, or language to be specific, it's always interpretation, how you interpret a certain text, all right? So that's how the group chat helps. And then the other thing would be to learn. I want you guys to ask questions, to learn, and also to have fun, right? Okay, and just trying to move my screen. Okay, so yesterday I spoke about cartoon analysis rules, right guys? And what I had said is that we look at it from 5 dimensions: symbolism, exaggeration, labeling, analogy, and irony, right? Cool. So what did we say about symbolism? Symbolism would be the use of objects, symbols that stand for larger meaning, right? There's something that I prepared for you guys today that, you know, we can use this so well on it, because it has all 5 factors of cartoon analysis available for us to do, right? And then the other one would be exaggeration, so the overdoing of things to make a point. Remember yesterday, Donald Trump was using the water gun to shoot at the coronavirus. We know that that's an exaggeration, right? And in terms of symbolism, we said the coronavirus looks like fire to show, to symbolize the seriousness of the virus. And the water gun is to show the denialism, or perhaps ridicule the denialism of the virus, right? And then we've got labeling, label objects or people to make clear what they stand for. And in that cartoon, we had seen that the label there was coronavirus. I don't know if you guys know that song, but that's a story for another day, maybe when we're done with the work. And then we've got analogy. So this is how the cartoonist will simplify the text for readers by comparing complex situations to familiar ones, or rather easier situations, right? For example, we know how serious the coronavirus is, but in that cartoon, it is portrayed in such a way that it is relatable. You know, as a reader, you have an understanding of what the cartoonist is trying to say, and you actually find humor in that, in the seriousness of the situation. So that's the other thing that I wanted to say about analogy yesterday, but I think I didn't mention. The other thing is irony. So how things are said and done versus how they should be said and how they should be done, right? So cartoonists always use irony to express their opinion, because it sort of ridicules whatever they're conveying, right? So in that image, the cartoonist was ridiculing Trump for denying the virus, right? And the irony there is that, so if we're analyzing the irony perspective of the irony part of it, we would say the fire, well, the coronavirus is portrayed as fire, which is something that is dangerous and potentially, and harmful. And Donald Trump is using a small water gun to stop this fire, which is greater than him. As you guys could see in the cartoon, the fire went all the way up the page, while Donald Trump occupied about 5% of the page. Are you guys understanding what's going on? Are you guys understanding me? Guys are not very active today. Okay, hi Matthew, hi Gwanda, hi Botomelo, hi Ayanda. Okay, so see, there's more people in the class. If I haven't said hi, please say hi. All right. Excuse me. So you guys are clear with that. So I just wanted to go over the cartoon we went over yesterday, but I think we had to rush into because of time, right? So I thought I should discuss this some more. I'm sorry. I was just trying to read in my notes if I had written the answers before the discussion. Looks like I can see some people. Kobe, if you could just please help with that. Thank you. That's sorted. All right, so the second thing, the first thing I want to discuss here is I think I had asked you guys a few questions yesterday regarding this cartoon, and I wanted us to kind of go over this, and because I think we only answered 2 questions yesterday. So the first question I'm going to ask is, who is the dominant figure in the cartoon? So by dominant, I mean who is this cartoon based on the most? Guys, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. So yeah, I love it when you guys engage. So, guys, remember, when I ask a question, I want you guys to always expand. If you say Dennis, you say why. If you say the girl, you say why, right? Expanding will always give you marks in English. In fact, you could answer something so wrong. Well, I mean, not necessarily wrong, but you know, in an perhaps unusual way, but if you can defend your argument, right, you will get those marks. That's how it is in English. So you need to be able to, you know, express why you believe that is the answer. Well, especially for paper 1. Even for paper 2 as well. So tomorrow we're going to be doing paper 2, and remember, guys, expansion is key. I'm going to start putting that as a house rule. Dennis, because he is the one that is being explained things to. Okay. Everyone who said the girl, anyone who said the girl, please tell me why. So someone said Dennis, because he is the one that is being explained things to. The girl, anyone, anybody? Yes, no? Perfect. Okay, guys, so the answer is Margaret, right? First of all, in the text, in an exam, because they gave you the name Margaret, you know, right? You need to study the whole thing. The answer is Margaret, right? And then full stop, right? So that's the answer. And then you write your expansion. She talks most in the text, as you can see. She's the one who talks the most. She talks down at Dennis and even criticizes Dennis. So she is dominating Dennis, besides just being dominant in the sense that she talks the most in the text. She also just dominates Dennis by looking down at him and criticizing him, walks in front of, and she walks in front of Dennis and is just bossy, you know, bossy towards Dennis. Is everyone happy with that? Does anyone have a question? Does anyone disagree and would like to share why? I'm open to having a discussion. Are you guys happy? If you guys are happy, can you say yes and we move on to the next thing? Perfect. Who is the dominant? Okay, no, we did that question. Okay, how does Dennis' mood change from frame 1 to frame 3? I think we answered that yesterday. He was happy and confident in frame 1, and he then became disappointed and almost disinterested in frame 3. So it was a deteriorating mood, if you'd like, or you can just put it that way, that he was happy or confident in the first frame, and then his mood deteriorated to being disappointed and disinterested. Is that clear? All right. Does anyone want me to repeat that? But I do believe we did that yesterday. All right. And then we have okay, so why is the word university in bold letters, right? Does anyone want to tell me why the word university in frame 4 is in bold letters? Yes, Mavuyega, that is correct. That is meant to scare him. So it's to stress the point, or excuse me, or because she was saying the word loudly. Yes, Mbali, that is right. Margaret is emphasizing the difficulty in university. All right, that could be a correct answer, right? But it is to just, emphasize her point, and maybe she just said the word loudly. Maybe she perhaps said university. I think I read it like that yesterday, to be quite honest. And then identify another word for snug. Snug is in frame 6. So if you could just identify another word for the word snug. Give me another word for the word snug. Guys, you're going to get questions like this where they just slip in a word that you've never used before. But just think of the context. That's what I like to do. Always think of the context. Thank you, Mafuyega. Mafuyega says small. Anyone else? Bali, I totally get why you say comfort, because I know the word snug or snuggly is often associated with comfort. However, small in this context works the most. Danae says welcoming. Timba says unwelcoming. Oh, okay. Snug look. Oh, no, that's smug, guys. Smug. Anyways, so the answer is small. That's what the answer is. And then the last one is the one in frame 7, where Dennis says, no big deal. I'll just go on a diet. Give me a formal way to write the sentence, no big deal. What would be a formal way to write the sentence, no big deal? Hi, Kiabetsui. You can write it in the group. Guys, I'm seeing your answers, but are you guys reading the context? It must still be in the same context. It is not major. Do not worry. Never mind. Don't be too stressed about it. Okay. Let me give you guys the right answer, which is Dennis would have probably said, that does not worry me, or that is not important. But he would have not said, do not worry, to her, because what Dennis was saying is it's no big deal to him that he's going to grow out of his chair because he's planning on going on a diet. Are you guys happy? Any last thoughts on this cartoon? Questions before we move on? Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to do today. So text A. And what I like about text A is that it analyzes more body language than language itself. You know what I mean? So you're going to get tested on that a lot. So you need to be able to interpret body language. I want you guys to read this. I'm going to give you guys, what time is it? Okay, we've got quite some time. I'm going to give you guys 8 minutes, right? 4 to read. Okay, no. 8 minutes. 3 to read, 5 for the questions. So 3 minutes to read the text, 5 minutes to answer the questions, and then I'll come back and then I'll read, and then you guys will answer the questions while we discuss in class, and then we'll evaluate that and move to the next text. How's that? So I will speak to you guys at 11:30. That is 8 minutes from now. Oh, and by the way, as soon as you guys are done, as soon as each and every person is done, just text on the group done so I can see the average reading and answering time for the class in general, so that in future I know how long to make it. Is that clear? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read it for everyone who can't see it properly. So I will ask that you take it down, right? So in frame 1, the father says, do you ever wonder how Jeremy sees us, right? Do you ever wonder how Jeremy sees us? You guys got that right? And then the mother says, huh? So that's H-U-H, question mark. And then in frame 2, I mean, does he see us as teachers, protectors, obstacles? So frame 2, the father says, I mean, does he see us as teachers, protectors, or obstacles, right? And then in frame 3, he says, it's just interesting to think about. While the mom says, and Jeremy comes in and says, hi, guys. So I hope that helped a bit. I think frame 2 is the one that is kind of not legible, but I hope the other ones you guys are able to read properly. Can I please get feedback on that? Thank you, guys. 5 minutes remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes remaining, guys. Hi, Eclipse. Lovely to see you here. One minute remaining, guys. Wait for me. That would be nice. Thank you, Matthew. Actually surprised that I actually have my windows open today because I usually have them closed when I speak to you guys. I usually have them closed when I speak to you guys so that you guys can hear me properly. And I'm actually surprised that you guys haven't had any issues with my windows open. So that's quite great. If you guys do, please let me know. I have closed it upon my realization. to make this as conducive for learning as possible. Okay, so the 8 minutes is done. All right, so the first question is, how do we know that the mother is listening attentively, right? So what are your answers, guys? Oh, thank you, Mbali. The way she looks at Jeremy's father, her body language, and she says she's intrigued in what Jeremy's father has to say. Okay, so that's correct. The way she looks at Jeremy's father, her body language, and she says she is intrigued by what Jeremy's father has to say. Anyone else with something a little different? Remember that in English, there's no right or wrong. In English, in the language paper, paper 1, there's usually no right or wrong, but just interpretation. Did anyone have a different way of interpreting this? Or did you guys all do it according to were you guys all along the lines of Mbali? Guys, please let me know so we can move on. Matthew says yes. I'm going to need one more other yes. Okay, perfect. So number 2, explain the body language of the father in frame 2. I'm waiting for your answers. Hi, dear Betsy. You can write in the group chat. Okay, explain the body language. Okay, so he's got 3 hands up, right? 3 hands up, and okay, sorry guys, I'm disturbed by this poll. So I'm gonna need you guys to give me answer 3 while I look at it. So question 3 is what roles do the parents play in frame 3? Okay, guys, I need you to be more specific. If we say in frame 3, I want to know both of the parents. Yes, thank you, Mavuyega. Expansion. Yes, Mbali. Yes. Yes. And then, guys, I want everyone to try. Can they be justified in believing that this is how Jeremy views them? Can they be justified in believing that this is how Jeremy views them? Guys, I'm going to teach you as we go along how to answer justification questions. What justifies them to believe that Jeremy views them like this? Okay, so let's see. Time's it. I've given you guys all the time. I've actually got a little bit more of time to go. So we're going to use that for the next activity. But here are the answers. So the first answer is, how do we know that the mother is listening attentively? She stops what she's doing, which was reading. So she stops reading to listen to him. And like Mbali says, it looks like she is intrigued even by the word that she uses, which is her. That shows us that she is quite intrigued by this question. So explain the body language of the father in frame 2. He's got 3 hands up, right? And he's counting, he's showing count of these things that he thinks Jeremy might consider them to be. So when he says teachers, protectors, obstacles, he's counting these things. So this is why he's got 3 hands, 3 fingers up, right? And then the finger on his chin shows that he is thinking, right? So that's your 2 marks there, all for free. Just interpreting that he is counting, as we can see in the text, as he's doing in the visual, right? And then the next one is according to the cartoon. What role did the parents play? And the mother sees herself as the cook, and Jeremy and the father sees himself as a provider for money or an ATM, right? You can say it for what it is. And then the fourth question was the justification of believing that that is how Jeremy views them. And that was, that would be that, so this is an open-ended question. It really depends on your opinion on things. So you can say yes, even though there is no indication that in the cartoon that Jeremy sees his father as a financial provider or his mother as a cook. They know their son well enough, right? To accurately assign themselves these roles, right? And the other thing is that Jeremy is quite young, so he probably cannot cook and he probably does not have money of his own. So they do provide these services or these things to him, right? Or you could have said, no, there is no indication that Jeremy believes he believes that they are either his financial providers or food providers. Okay, so we've got 5 minutes remaining, about 5 minutes, right? And I want us to talk about this in the group chat, right? So you're going to do political texts as well. If you got, does anyone do history here? So if anyone does history, could you please let me know in the group chat? But anyways, so in terms of symbolism, right? We already know that symbols are used to convey greater meaning. So what can you guys say about symbolism in this specific text? What do you guys see in the text? The government. A big man is labeled with his mouth opened, labeled as the government, being fed by a man who looks poor and sickly, who is labeled by the people, right? The other man is dressed, the other one isn't. However, ironically, he is feeding the man who is dressed while he isn't, right? Okay, so in terms of symbolism, guys, in terms of symbolism, what are we seeing? What are we seeing? How are the people feeding the government? What is being symbolized? What are the people carrying? Guys, I need you to try a little harder. You guys, I know you guys are capable. I've worked with you guys for quite some time now. The government likes money. Yes, that's another way to put it. Through what? How does the government get money from the people? Yes, the government is taking everything from the people. Yes, that would be the people's resources. Mhm. Yes, Priyanka says by our taxes. Even though the people have nothing, they're still taking food from people's mouth. Yes, that is so right, Danae. That is another way to put it. You would have gotten your 2 marks. The government is using the people, interpret, expand, elaborate a bit more on that. How is the government doing so? By using their taxes. All right. I keep checking for the time. Okay, I've got 4 minutes. And then exaggeration, what is being exaggerated here? We can see that, first of all, this man is very big. So that just goes to show we're getting the point across that the government keeps getting fatter or keeps getting richer, while the people keep getting skinnier. As you can see, the guy on the other end, or labeled as the people, is skinny, right? And looks quite sickly and unclothed while he's feeding a clothed man, right? And labeling, we all know, right? This one is an easy one. The government has been labeled as the fat guy who is eating but looks full and does not continues to eat regardless, while the people feed him and get nothing out of it. As you can see that they are sickly. So the labeling was quite great here. I'm sure you guys got it. And the analogy, guys, the analogy. So you guys have actually described the analogy. The seriousness here is that the government is taking food from the people's mouths. But now the cartoonist has made it in such a way that he uses familiar information like food, poverty, and rich, the gap between the two. He could have used any other way to express this point, but he used these objects to express his point. Is that clear, guys? And then the irony of it all. So I told you guys the irony in the beginning. Anyone else want to give me the irony? The irony is that the poor man is feeding the rich man. He is clothed while he is unclothed, and he is hungry and feeding. Yes, yes. The government is greedy. That's what Priyanka has said that. That is very true. So yeah, guys, I hope you're happy. And thank you for your cooperation in today's class. Remember that at the end of the class, is always suggestion, query, and appreciation time. Tomorrow we're doing Macbeth, and I hope you guys will be ready. Tell your friends who are also doing Macbeth that we're having a Macbeth class tomorrow. I'm going to try and find as much as I can. I also did Macbeth in high school, so I'm going to just try and find as much as I can and revive my memory as much, jog my memory as much as I can down memory lane to see how I dealt with Macbeth at the time. Yeah, so thank you guys. Anything else? Anyone has anything to say? Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. We will do Things Fall Apart maybe next week. That could be our literature novel for next week. So what I'm planning on doing is doing one. So what I'm planning on doing is doing One Shakespeare, one lit novel. One Shakespeare, one lit novel. So we're doing Macbeth tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's what? Wednesday? So yeah, we're doing Macbeth, and we're gonna do Macbeth on Thursday as well. Then on Friday we're doing poetry. So yeah, on Monday maybe we can do Things Fall Apart. All right, guys. We'll chat tomorrow. I will bring you. Well, we will do Macbeth content in class, so not having the book won't really matter much if you've read it before in class, which I hope you have. Okay, guys, I really have to leave now. Thank you so much for coming through. We'll speak tomorrow. Anything else, any other query you have, please just email me. Have a good day. Bye.